Hey, welcome back to episode 2 of the 30-Day Clean Eating Challenge. I am Tanya Richardson, life coach specializing in weight loss, and I'm here to take you through the actual orientation. So if you did not see part 1, you want to watch part 1 before you watch this video, because I break down a lot of frequently asked questions and I tell you a little bit about who I am and what the program entails. But I want to get into this orientation. So again, this is the orientation for the 30-Day Clean Eating Challenge. It's an abbreviated orientation. So there's only about 5 or 6 questions that I ask to set you up for success, again, so that we can have a conversation about how to make you the most successful, or to how to get you the most successful 30-day weight loss challenge that you can have. And so I want to get into these lifestyle questions and answers, or I'm going to tell you what the question is, and then I'm going to get into why I asked this question, and then I'm going to get into some frequent responses to that question, and how to set yourself up, or how to apply that to your experience. So my first lifestyle question and answer question is, what is your motivation for making this lifestyle change? And the reason I ask that is because if your motivation is superficial, I have found that people tend to be less successful. They burn out after the honeymoon phase, which is about the first 7 to 14 days. But if your motivation is that you want to make sure that you offset diabetes, or reverse your high blood pressure, or save your life and from the miseries and of an unhealthy life of being overweight and obese, it has to be something deeper than vanity. It needs to be so much deeper than that, because this is a life-changing program, and I don't come at this lightly when you hire me to essentially save your life, or to change your life through this program. And so your motivation needs to be something that is beneath the surface, something heartfelt. Your children, being able to live long for them, or you don't like the results from a physical that you just got. Your doctor is telling you things that are starting to scare you. It needs to be things like that, like you're really ready to take control of your eating habit. If you do hire me to be your weight loss coach, I am going to do my job. That's just why Rapid Results works. So again, number one, your motivation needs to be deep. And if it isn't, you need to find a deeper motivation. Be honest with yourself. Do you really like how you feel? Or are you just telling yourself that you enjoy being this size, and you're going to classify your sick as thick, for instance? Be honest with yourself. So the second question that I ask is, are you coachable? The reason I ask, are you coachable, is, quite frankly, it's been my experience over the past 15 years or so of being a weight loss life coach that, for instance, women, because I primarily work with women, but I suppose this applies to men also, I don't know, but women who are highly educated, or have high-end executive jobs, or really accomplished, their own house, their own this, their own that, very smart women, very smart, executive level women, or women who are just really accomplished and confident in themselves, they tend to be the worst people to coach. And the reason for that, I've come to understand over the years, is not necessarily about me. It's really more about what it took for them to arrive at that level of success. And so they challenge things. And there's a good way and a bad way to challenge good information, right? So you have to be coachable enough to understand that in your world, wherever you are the leader, or wherever you are the administrator, that is where you want to exert that type of energy, right? But if you want me to be your coach, then you have to check my record first and understand that this is my lane. And I'm going to need you to follow my lead and allow me to coach you. I am not bossy in my approach. I'm a life coach. In and of itself, that means that I am a coach, right? No coach just comes in day one and just punches you in the face and tell you you're out of shape and need to get your life together, right? It's a process of establishing a trusting relationship that allows me to be honest with you, and that should allow you to allow me to do that, and to not challenge me in ways that aren't beneficial just because I make you uncomfortable. So I went on that whole rant because that is a legitimate thing. Like, these powerful sisters love y'all to death, but you are some of the most difficult people to teach, to coach. Good God. Okay. How coachable are you also applies to people who are just so inundated with all the other ways to lose weight that you are like, well, I heard that I'm not supposed to skip meal or eat meals like that. Or I heard I'm supposed to eat 6 times a day, for instance. To which I say, rapid results works for a reason, and there is more than one way to lose weight. So if you're not comfortable with what I've told you in video 1 or in the which is also the phone consultation that I do with people, video 1 is essentially what I talk about in our phone consultation. But if I haven't convinced you with my receipts, if you will, that I'm someone who knows what I'm talking about, then you need to go somewhere else, because again, you can't tell me how to administer rapid results. Now, I'm absolutely here for questions based on what you've heard or said or a concern that you have. That is what a good coach does. Okay, I explain, I listen, I answer, and I respect your right to understand or your need to understand what's going on. But at the same time, we're not about to go back and forth about what you heard versus what you think versus what I know versus what my degree tells me. And again, my record shows. So are you coachable enough to let go of all other programs? It doesn't mean you have to delete that information. Just suspend the Atkins diet and the this or that over here and do this program as I'm administering it to you. If you can't do that, then we're gonna have a problem. Number 3. Do you have healthy and supportive relationships? So as your coach, absolutely, I'm here. For the 30-day clean eating challenge. Again, you don't get daily coaching. You may want to upgrade to the 30-day program if you need daily coaching. But as your coach, I am here to get you through the tough spots. I'm here for you to text me and say that you're feeling down today and all of that. Again, that's the life coach aspect of it. I'm not just here for weigh-ins and meal plans and that sort of thing. I'm also here to coach you through this process in real life. And so I'm here. You got me. But when we're not on the phone or when we're not communicating, what does your circle look like? Are the people in your home supportive of your decision to change your lifestyle? Are they going to do it with you? Are they also going to follow some sort of healthy lifestyle program or join in with you during the program? Or do you have an environment where your partner, for instance, does not support your decision, or you don't have anyone immediately around you that supports you, right? So if you have negative influence or the absence of additional support, I need to know that so that I know to bump up my contact time with you. Because again, I'm here to give you what you need. So if you already have a really positive environment, I think that is amazing. But if you don't, I'm here for you. That's another reason that the program works so well. So I will say this. You do want to be careful who you tell what. There are people who will sabotage your efforts intentionally, and there are people who will sabotage your efforts just because it doesn't feel good that you're leaving them behind and you've made a decision to do this and they're still not ready to. So they do it kind of as a deflection because they don't like how they feel that they haven't made this choice. And so if you have people in your life who you know for a fact, every time you say that you're about to jump onto something that's positive, they're with you. You want to talk to those people about what you're doing and let them know that it's healthy. Maybe even give them a referral. You know what I mean? If your girls are looking for a weight loss coach, I'm here for them too. But if you have a positive circle of influence, absolutely go ahead and get your village together to help us get you to this goal and make this lifestyle change. But if you don't, if you have a lot of toxicity or a lack of support at all in your circle of influence, then you really want to be careful what you tell them and why, because they will almost automatically respond with something critical or negative. And in the beginning, especially before you even get to see the results on the scale, you don't need that. You don't need that in your life. So, it's none of their business, to be honest. It's none of anybody's business. I have a couple of clients who literally don't post on social media about the program. They don't talk to their family about it. It's just, they just wait for people to come up to them and say, hey, you look like you're losing weight. And then I do appreciate the referrals. But it's really your journey. It's not even their business for you to tell someone that you were embarking on this journey, especially if you know that they're going to respond with something toxic. You don't need it. You don't need it. And if someone who you thought would be supportive shows themselves to be something other than that, then that's the last time I'm going to talk to you about what I'm doing. And the next question is, how do you cope with stress? The reason I ask that is because if you cope with stress by doing something that has calories, then we're going to have to address that and come up with some healthier outlets. So for instance, if you cope with stress by eating, which is also known as emotional eating, then you're going to have to find a way to slow your brain down to connect with your thoughts and your feelings instead of trying to stuff them down with food. Again, that's the life coaching part of it. If you don't master that time between being triggered to eat and stopping yourself, if you don't master that little space, then you're going to struggle no matter what program you're in. And so I always tell my clients, I'm here if you get stuck in that space, or even if you make a mistake and you go ahead and you deviate bad or you binge real hard. You're a human being. I don't expect you to be perfect. But you need to be ready to replace those negative outlets with healthier outlets. So one thing I tell people when you feel stressed out, a good way to do it is, if you think about how you feel after you get a good cardio workout, that kind of euphoric feeling like all your stresses are gone. It's like almost impossible to be angry and work out at the same time. And that's because the hormones that are released when you're doing physical activity are mood enhancers, and it happens immediately. So no calories in that. In fact, that can even be a cardio workout that burns off some calories and helps us get to this weight loss goal. So if you're someone who copes with stress by drinking, it could be that you need to address that, especially if when we talk in orientation and you do have to cut out all alcohol for a week at least. If that is an issue for you, it could be that you have a dependency issue that you need to look into, because it shouldn't feel like the end of the world to have to not drink alcohol for a week, right? Okay. There are other ways to cope with stress. So we'll have to really talk about breaking that down into what we can do besides chew. I'm going to say that again because that's one of my t-shirts. What do you like to do besides chew? That's another way to cope with stress. Do you read? Do you like music? Do you knit? Do you like to work out? How about a home improvement task, right? You can do any of those things besides eat. The other thing I say about coping with stress with eating is whenever you get the idea to eat something, regardless to why it is, if it's a stressor or it's just your inner fat girl just said, hey, eat a Twinkie, right? There's this process that happens that if we think about it logically, we can slow it down. So when you first have that thought to eat something unhealthy, it starts out on a 10, right? But the longer you sit with it, the longer you just let it pass, the more you distract yourself from it or just embrace it. Damn it, I want a Twinkie. I'm not going to eat one, but damn, I want one. You don't have to lie and say you don't want it. I don't want a Twinkie because I've joined Rapid Results and I no longer crave Twinkies. It's a damn lie. You have to be honest with yourself, but you also have to sit in that feeling and just let it pass. It will pass. It starts out on a 10. After about 5 minutes, it's on a 5. After about 5 more minutes, it's on maybe a 2. Maybe it never goes away, but that feeling like you have to overeat, it passes. And I dare say, the more you practice letting it pass, the easier it'll be for it to pass. I used to love sweets, but now I'm at a place and I've trained my brain. Also, I know what sugar does to the body, but I've trained myself to literally not like sugar. And one of the ways I did it was to say, I no longer like sugar. I don't like sugar anymore. Now, that may sound like a lie because at the time I did still enjoy eating sweet things, but what I was saying was, I don't like what sugar does to my body. So abbreviated, I don't like sugar. And over maybe the course of my first 90 days of my personal weight loss journey, I had eliminated concentrate like cookies and cakes and all. I can walk right past that stuff and feel nothing at all. Now potato chips, pray for me, but I trained myself to be distracted, or to I should say to no longer desire sweets until my body was able to adjust out. And now if I try to eat a Hostess cupcake or something like that, it tastes disgusting. And that may seem impossible to you. That's something you love to eat, like snack cakes or cookies could taste disgusting. But I'm telling you, if you take them out for about 3 weeks and then go to eat one, you can taste all the chemicals in it. It's very nasty. Just try it. Just try it. All right. So how do you cope with stress? We got to come up with healthier ways to do so. Again, if you have any additional questions or something that I'm not covering that you want my opinion on or my input on, go ahead and comment on this video. The next question that I ask is, what have you tried before to lose weight? And again, I ask this question because you have to suspend. First, I ask this question because you have to suspend all of that in order to do this program the way I designed it. And the second reason that I ask that is because there are certain things that we can adjust in the program to make them fit what works for you best. For instance, coaching styles. Some people say, listen, I am hard-headed and I need you to be firm with me. Again, firm does not mean disrespectful. Firm does not mean unnecessarily aggressive. Firm to me means you want me to hold you accountable for why you joined this program, and you don't want me to let you get away with little microaggressions. You want to be held accountable. Some people say, Ty, if you're really firm with me, it stresses me out. And again, I attach stress to eating. And so I say to them, okay, then don't put me in a situation where I need to be firm with you, first of all. Second of all, that's one of the beauties of being a life coach is I see you and I understand how to relay the information I need to relay in a way that you can best receive it. Because nothing is worse than trying to tell someone something that's very invaluable, but also they may not want to hear in a way that offends them, so they can't even hear what you're saying because of the way you're saying it. But I will tell you this, I've over the years had people, had to be honest with people, and in the moment they were very upset with me. They felt like, sometimes they pushed back verbally and said, I don't agree with that, or I'll think about that, or they keep it in, but they just kind of go away, like they stop coming to my programs or to my classes. And then I'll get a message, and this has happened, I promise, 5 or 6 times over my career, where people will contact me randomly, or we'll run into one another and they'll say, that thing you said to me, that I didn't take the program seriously and that's why I wasn't losing weight, or that I was in denial about my binge eating and overeating. Remember when you said that to me and how I got mad at you? You were right. Thank you. So that to me validates what I'm saying. I'm not just classifying myself as being a good life coach. My clients have over the years expressed gratitude for the way that I am able to hold them accountable. I do. All right, so the next thing I ask people is, what are your worst eating habits? And I ask this question because, again, we need practical interventions, if you will, to prepare you to be successful. So I need to know if you go to Dunkin' Donut or Starbucks every morning. I need to know if you're used to eating a bowl of cereal before you go to bed at night. I need to know if at your job they have a candy bowl and you just keep going to that thing, or they give away free snacks and you're just all in it. I need to know if you drive to work a certain way or home a certain way, which triggers you to go to a certain place and eat a certain thing. We got to get into all of that. And it may not all come to you during the orientation, but as these things start to come up to the surface, A, it lets you know that you're learning, which is beautiful. You're more mindful. But B, we can address those things. So you have to be really ready to dig deep and to already know what your worst eating habits are. Now, a couple of things that people say in response to the question, what are your worst eating habits? I want to bring up 2 things that people bring up the most often in my response to them. The number one reason that people tell me that they are not losing weight, or what their worst eating habit is they'll say, Ty, I don't eat enough. I can't lose weight because I'm not eating enough, and my body is holding on to, and they'll quote some quasi-medical reason that their body is in fact holding on to fat. It is, I should say. My response to that, I'm not eating enough response is, if not eating enough caused weight to plateau or caused you to gain weight, then people in third world countries or people who are starving would be overweight. Not eating enough is called fasting or starving. And people who fast or starve don't gain weight, they lose weight. So that's the first thing I want to say to that. Just logically and scientifically, we know that to be true. The second thing I say is, what they're probably intending or meaning to say is, they don't eat often. Like some people will say, I don't eat breakfast, or I don't eat lunch. I just eat when I go home. Well, if that's the case, you may not eat often, but when you do eat, you're overeating. I'm going to say that again. You can skip breakfast. You can skip breakfast and lunch. But if when you do eat dinner, you eat enough food for 3 people, you're overeating. So I think that that's more of what they're trying to say. I skip breakfast and I should be skinny. That's why you're not. So what are your worst eating habits? The second thing that they tend to tell me about eating habits is they don't drink enough water. I'm not losing weight, or the reason that I'm stuck at this weight, or the reason I didn't meet my weight loss goal this week, Ty, is because I didn't drink enough water. To which I say again, scientifically, water has no calories, so it cannot affect your weight overtly, right? The way that water does affect your weight loss journey is if you're dehydrated, you don't have as much energy to do your workouts. Your mood is a little diminished because water actually, or being hydrated, I'll speak about it like that. Being hydrated gives you energy. Being hydrated helps you sweat better. It gives you the ability to process all of your food and absorb it the way you're supposed to. Helps you eliminate toxins faster. Being hydrated is a supplement to weight loss, but not being hydrated doesn't mean you can't lose weight, because we're talking about 2 different substances if you think about it. Hydration is water, fat is lipids or oily, if you want to say. Fat would be more like an oil. So oil and water, we know, have nothing to do with each other. They don't even like each other. So being hydrated can enhance you burning fat through other activities. It can being dehydrated can diminish your cardio output. It can diminish your energy. It can also make you more likely to nibble and snack, because the thirst response from being dehydrated feels a lot like the hunger response. And so when you get that dry mouth, if your first inclination is to eat, that's what you're going to do. If you're hydrated, you don't have that feeling, so you don't even have to go through that. But also, if you're a person who is conditioned to drink water, when your mouth is dry, you don't feel like you have to stuff food in it. You know, hey, let me drink some water and see how I feel after that. So I'm going to coach you through making sure you drink enough water, how much water that is, and we'll get into that in the orientation. But those are 2 reasons for not losing weight that aren't scientifically based. They're just kind of like excuses or misunderstandings. We'll call them misunderstandings about how weight loss really works. So that's another reason that this program is so valuable, is because I dismiss so many myths just using science and logical thinking. That's all. Critical thinking and science, which science is critical thinking. Okay, so that is the question and answer portion of it. I'm going to go ahead and end this video here, because I like to keep the videos down to about 30 minutes. So again, those are the questions that you really need to consider. And if you have any questions about anything I've said in this video, please let me know in the comments or contact me. This series is going to be on YouTube, which is Rapid Results Works with an exclamation mark. Make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Hit the little notification bell so that you can get notifications when I record episode 3, which is going to be about setting goals. So how much water should you actually drink? I'm going to get into that. I'm going to get into different ways to come up with your own exercise prescription based on what you already have available to you. You don't have to go and get a gym membership. You don't have to purchase any equipment. I'm going to teach you how to build an effective fat-burning exercise prescription that you can do from home. And then we're going to talk about your ultimate weight loss goal versus your 30-day weight loss goal and how to determine what those numbers should be. So with that, I'm going to leave you to your day. If you have some friends who are looking to lose weight, have them subscribe to this channel. This is what I do. And I'm going to be constantly uploading not only this masterclass, but workout videos and all types of wonderful ways to take control of this lifestyle. You do not have to suffer with obesity. It can be a lot easier than you think it is to lose weight. And even if you just need to lose a few pounds because you feel better when you are a healthy weight, I'm here for you. Rapid Results Works. Follow the hashtag. Love you. Mean it. See you in episode 3.